What's up, OTA Nation? Justin here from On Target Air Gunner. Today we're going to check out the Stoeger XM1 Ranger 25 cal. Stay tuned. All right, so the Stoeger XM1 Ranger 25 cal, a little bit bigger than the Scout model that they have. The one that we have here is side lever, regulated, fills up to 25, what is it, 25 bar, 250 bar? Yeah. Uses a fill probe, adjustable cheek riser, supposedly a two-stage adjustable trigger. We'll talk about that a little more. And pick rail up on top. Has a threaded muzzle end, so you can attach any 1.5 by 20 UNF thread suppressor. Let's take a look, see how it does. All right, so we'll take one shot with no moderator on, just the shroud cap. It's probably going to be loud. There's no type of sound suppression built in as far as I know. All right, next we're going to try Buckrail's 3D printed moderator. We'll do one more shot. Big difference from stock. All right, next is Buckrail's modular suppressor. This is their newer model. Same, we'll do 2 shots. Again, very quiet. All right, lastly, we got the Donnie FL Sumo. I tried to go in order of cost, I guess. The Buckrail 3D printed one, I think it's about 40 to 50, don't quote me. Definitely though the cheapest option. Then we got the new modular suppressor. I think those are 70 to 80. Again, don't quote me. Both of those from Buckrail. And then the Donnie FL Sumo. When I got it, at least, it was about 180. So, let's see. They're all pretty quiet. We'll have to look at the sound meter, see what the readings are. And like always, I got it about 8 to 10 feet in front of the barrel. But definitely, I think all 3 are usable. Now, Stoeger says this is a 2-stage trigger, adjustable. However, from the box, I didn't really feel that first stage at all. It kind of caught me off guard the first time I shot it. So I'm gonna see if I can adjust it and make that stage heavier. Normally, it seems like we have to lighten the triggers, but in this case, I need that second stage. Otherwise, it's just a single stage. I don't know. For me, I like that second stage. Anyways, let's get some trigger weights stock. So scale is zeroed out. Let's see. £1 pound, 9.3 ounces. Let's get one more. Back to zeroed out. can't even feel that stage. 1 pound, 9.7 ounces. All right, so we got the XM1 Ranger shooting the 25.39 JSBs, 50 yards. Right now we got the Donnie FL Sumo on the front to quiet it down. Let's do 2 5-shot groups with the Donnie FL, and then we'll swap it out for the Buckrail modular suppressor. Same ammo, and just compare the two. So we'll go for this third to the bottom row. Wind flag's pretty vertical, so no wind.
$889. $894.
Stacked those pellets. That's really nice. Jeez.
94.
Wind flag's moving a little bit.
$904.
One more. That's a really tight group right there.
$889.
Nice. And you could probably tell from the scope cam, but you know, there's just a wobbly plastic table. Definitely the gun can do a lot better if you're maybe shooting from a concrete bench or something like that. I don't got time for that. Maybe a nice spring project. Anyways. All right, so that first group, super tight group. Let's see if we can repeat it. Trying to time it between heartbeats. You could probably see the scope cam, just a little bit of a bounce as my heart's beating. All right, wind flag is pretty horizontal now. Let's just see how it does in the wind. Oh,
900.
That was a little bit me too. Some wind and me.
$896.
Still about a quarter size. Usable. Man, my heart's making this jump good. I can see that. I don't know if you guys can see that back home on the scope cam.
986.
Nice. Still a tight group. By the way, if I haven't mentioned, this is straight out of the box. I haven't touched anything. I wanted to adjust the trigger, but I don't have any, whatever Allen key it needs, I don't have. If it even is an Allen key, I can't even see the screw. Yeah, I wanted to adjust the trigger, but I wasn't able to. I'm getting a little used to it though. I would just prefer a more defined wall. I don't really feel it. But anyways, really nice groups. All right, just topped off the magazines. By the way, Maple Custom products on the magazines worked great. The stock ones were okay too. Just not a fan of that rotate backwards insert from the back and all that nonsense. Close your eyes. You guys can't watch this. So took off the Sumo, throwing on the buck rail modular suppressor. By the way, I wonder, buck rail, if can we throw on more of these baffles just to quiet it even further? I realize it would be ridiculously long, but I don't know, I wouldn't mind that, just to squeeze out a little bit more of the quietness. Buck rail, if you can comment, that'd be appreciated. Okay, so now we got the buck rail suppressor on there. Same 50 yards, same ammo. The buck rail is a little bit louder, still usable. Let's see how the groups do. Go for the top row. I hope the 0 still hits. It might be a little different. Let me just take one shot down here just to see where the 0's hitting. Wow.
911.
Right on the X. Those X's are about, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half big, maybe, just for size reference. All right, here we go. 5 shots. Mm.
937.
All right. When I checked my 0, it hit right on the X, but as long as the group is good, we can just move the reticle, move the turrets, adjust the turrets to where it's hitting, but let's keep it where it is now. Still good grouping. I noticed the velocity is a little higher. I wonder if that's kind of weird. Wow.
885. $911.
I wonder if that went in one of those holes. I hope so. One more shot. It's a really tight 5-shot group and the wind's picking up. Trees are blowing. Mm.
895.
That's a good nickel sized. About the size of that one right there. That first group was crazy tight, but then again, you guys saw the wind flag. Pretty much nothing there. I'm gonna swap out magazines just so I don't have to top it off in the middle of the group. All right. I hope we have enough on the regulator. still. If we start dropping crazy in velocity, I'll just top it off and reshoot another group. Right now I'm 31 shots. I know my chronograph says 30, but it missed a shot earlier. So I'm gonna skip that one since that pellet's so close to that. We'll just go for this X over here.
$894.
Mm-hmm.
920.
I felt that one. Felt the break on that one. Maybe it just need to be broken in a little. Shot when I was ready to shoot. That was good. $916. Man, you don't do nothing, just sit here, but it takes some energy. Mind, body. Definitely we're gonna stretch this one out to 100 yards. It's doing really well. And those first 3 shots, wind flag was pretty calm. The ravens are out. They want me to take a squirrel. I know. I'll feed you guys later. I don't want to mess this group up with that wind. Oh well. You guys can see either of the moderators is giving me really good groups. Let's just finish it out though. I didn't wait on the other group for the win, so we'll just finish it.
$900.
That is crazy accurate. Crazy consistency.
$920.
Speechless. Let's go measure those groups. This is super accurate, super consistent. Shooting the JSBs 25.39. I like for the 25 cals to be able to shoot these because these are probably the cheapest for 25 cal. For 22s, 177s, you got a lot more pellet options. There's a lot of pellet options for 25, but like a lot of them, like the JTSs come in a 150 count, whereas this one is a 350 count, and they're almost the same price. So definitely get a lot more ammo for your buck. And I like for the guns to shoot these well, and this one does. Out of the box. Haven't touched anything. I might just get used to that trigger. Like you saw, I was able to time it and make it shoot when I wanted it to shoot. So let's go take a look at the groups. All right, so this was that JSB with the Donnie FL Sumo group. And Let me grab my dime. That is definitely dime sized. There's the dime. Covers all 5 shots, 50 yards. I have an MOA gauge here. You can see this inner circle. It says 50 yards. So if all 5 shots fit in that, it's sub MOA at 50 yards. There it is. Sub MOA at 50 yards. Crazy accurate. And then wind picked up as always. And here's that second group. Here's a quarter. So I'd say center of the impact to center of impact. You can do it on a quarter. There it is. That's with the Sumo. Let me see if I can move the camera up a little bit. Now we can take a look at those other shots. All right, so none of those are MOA, I can tell. This one is quarter sized. Quarter size group. This one, dime. All right. Super accurate, super consistent. This again with the Donnie FL Sumo. This with the buck rail modular suppressor. This suppressor is about 1/3 of the price of this one, at least when I bought it. Might be a little more, definitely less than half the price. But you can see very nice grouping on both. Let's take it out to 100 yards. All right, I'm out here checking my zeros because I want to shoot the XM1 Ranger at 100 yards. So I wasn't planning on filming right now, but I'm in the back of my truck and I'm shooting probably the best group I've ever shot in my life at 100 yards right now. And so I'm gonna bust out. I do have the side shot going on the gun. And it's normally not the filming location I like to do. Let's see if I can get some range for you guys. And let's see what those targets are. Come on. 100. That's really hard to do. Let me see if I can zoom in. So it's way down there. All right, I'm gonna turn off this camera and we're just gonna show through the scope cam. I don't think I can record out of this one too. I didn't bring any tripods, nothing. Like I said, I was gonna just check some zeros and then film later, but I need to get this one on tape. That's crazy good. Shooting the 25.39. We already got some velocities out of it, so we're not gonna mess with that again. There we go. All right, I think we can make do like this. Get the side shot going. Do not want to miss that. So we got the mag loaded up. Maple Custom Products. Wind is very calm. I want to take advantage of it. Might not get another day like this. So through the scope cam, you can see here, I was trying to find my zero. And then once I found it, I shot those. There's 3 shots already so far. That's like dime sized at 100 yards. So I could totally jinx it and blow these next few shots, but I just want to get it on tape just in case we get some crazy good groupings. We'll try and do 4 5-shot groups. Oh man, what happened? I do see the trees blowing just a tiny bit right here where I'm at. Down there the wind flag's calm. You can see it's pretty much in line with my 0. Man. Well, while the camera's rolling, I'll just do 5 shots there and we'll see if those stick together. Also, I just put on the side shot, so that could throw off the 0. Let's just see. Man, spoke too soon. That's 4. We'll do one more. Not sure what happened. Jinxed it. Well, there was 3 off camera. There was 5. Let me click over just so we can be kind of hitting where we're aiming, because I want to try and hit those X's. And that should get us closer. All right, let's do another 5. Ooh. Man. Nope. Gonna probably not use this group. Might just do it again some other time. I wonder why that crazy drop. I don't know. Well, almost. Spoke a little too prematurely there. The wind is light. It's nothing crazy. I don't think enough to excuse me. I don't think the wind is enough to blame it on the wind. It's pretty light. The wind flag's not that crazy. And then there's one in between me and there. It's almost vertical. Definitely we can still use this to hunt. I'm over here wanting it to shoot like a competition bench rest gun, which that's not what it is. That's still usable groups at 100. Let's just do one more 5-shot group since I got one more X out there. And top off the magazine. Oh, this is not the most comfortable position prone. Definitely a lot more stable, but ugh, I need a little more padding on my body if I'm gonna be shooting prone. By the way, we got the Donnie FL Sumo up front right now. That seemed to give just a little bit better grouping than the buck rail. Not by much, but at least for this 100-yard group, I wanted the better one of the two for accuracy. Buck rail is definitely usable still. All right, here we go. I hope you guys can see at home through the scope cam. Anyways, we'll go up and look at the targets, get a recap. There's two in the same hole right there. Oh. All right, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This is pretty ideal shooting conditions. Let me show you guys the wind flags one more time. So I got one right there, 50 yards, nothing crazy. And then out there at 100 yards, you barely see it. You can see it on the, I don't know if you can see it on the scope footage actually, but yeah, it's pretty calm. So it did good. I'm definitely happy with it. Definitely can use it for some good squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting. 25 cal pushes them out pretty good. 50-yard group was crazy accurate. I took out some squirrels yesterday actually with it. 100-yard still usable for squirrels. Let's go take a look at those groups. All right, so like I said, shooting out of the bed of my truck. Had some rain today. Got some snow up on the higher elevation. You can see the 50-yard wind flag, not too crazy. All right, so these were the 100-yard groups. This right here was the cider group. And then I just wanted to check to see if I adjusted the turrets correctly, and I started to do this group. And you can see those three are really tight. And so that's when I decided, you know what, I better film this. And so I turned on the camera. And then, but once I did, then I was still aiming at this point, and I got over here. So I just finished this new 5-shot group on camera. I don't know actually where that went. That came from. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this is the 5. Not good. Another 5-shot group. That one's about 1.5 inches. I'll show you measurement right now. This one, I don't know what happened. And then another 5-shot. So you can see these 4 were really good, but for whatever reason that 5th one opened up. Man, I really wish it would have stayed there. Here's a dime. Those 3 are definitely dime sized, but we were going for a 5-shot group. You can see this 3. Here's another 3 that are dime. And just for whatever reason that 5 opens it up. Here's my little MOA gauge. So this one I want to measure. Let's see, at the bottom of this, there's a little measuring scale. 1.5 inches. From there to there is 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inch group. This one just outside of 1.5 inches, sorry. That's like 1 inch and under 3/4. This one opened up big time. This one opened up big time, but those 4 are just outside of 1 inch. And then this crazy group right there, definitely sub MOA. That would have passed for MOA at 50. But it opened up. All right, so let's do a recap on the Stoeger XM1 Ranger. So you guys saw the groups at 50 yards, really nice groups. And I figured if they're good at 50, they should be good at 100. But for whatever reason, they weren't, I guess, competition good. And this is not a competition gun, I get it. I keep wanting competition results out of budget-friendly air rifles. I don't know, I don't think I'm wrong for wanting that. Anyways, hunting-wise, I think it still would get the job done at 100 yards. You guys saw the groupings. Definitely would have hit a squirrel more times than not. Now, if you're trying to go for a clean hit on a coyote at 100 yards, I don't know. Definitely 50 yards, yeah, this thing will take them down all day long. Now, I did do a shot count, hooked it up to my chronograph. I'll throw those readings up. And what was weird was the spread was like, maybe like 45 feet per second. Don't quote me, but it would go like one shot 910, next shot 870. Back and forth, 908, 875. It's weird, back and forth like that. You can see on the graph, it's just like back and forth. And then a few shots hung around the high 900s and then it repeated itself. And it definitely translates to different impact points downrange, especially at 50 yards. I have probably 200 shots through the gun. I think that would be good enough for a regulator break-in period. For whatever reason though, the spread's pretty big. So Stoeger, if you guys could work on that, maybe for a next gen of the model. But definitely when the velocities were the same, the groupings were the same, if that makes sense. So the 900s, the high 900 groups were up here, the 870 groups were down here. And they were hitting back and forth, just peeing back and forth between those when I was doing my shot counts. I don't know. The trigger is supposedly adjustable, but I couldn't find any Allen key that matched. I have quite a bit of Allen keys too. None of mine matched to do any adjustments. I did end up getting used to the trigger. It was really light. It's just I want my stage to be a little more defined. Some guys like it a really light trigger. I don't prefer it. I did learn though, where the breaking point was, and it was pretty predictable. It's just a little too light for me. I didn't mess with any of the hammer spring adjustments. The grouping was good out of the box, so it's good there. I guess I could play with it a little more, but I don't think that's gonna fix the velocity problem. I think that's a regulator problem, not a spring problem. It was shooting the JSBs, the 25.39 is pretty good. Especially when we're at the the low 900s. I want to say it was like 44 foot-pounds, something like that. That's really good energy, especially stock, not messing with anything. And for shot count, I got 36 shots before it fell off the regulator. I know the chronograph graph is going to show, I think, 21 shots, but the FX Chrony V2, I think, freaking sucks. It missed a bunch of shots. I used to think it was maybe the small caliber it was missing, but even the 25 caliber, it misses a bunch. Anyways, I counted my shots, 36 shots we get when we top off the gun until it starts to fall off the regulator. That's not bad, especially when you consider it's not a bottle gun. So that's a good little hunting session, you know, go out, 36 shots off, go back to the truck, top it off, have a drink, reflect on your life choices, and then go back out and hit it again. So I think that's pretty good. It shoulders really well. I like this little hole right here. Right now it's a little front heavy because of my bipod. Oh, heck yeah. Definitely I can carry this around. I'd probably shoot maybe kneeling or sitting, but it's not too heavy where I'm just fighting the gun to stay up. And a lot of that too is my scope, but feels really good, shoulders really good. The side lever cocking is really nice. They include some pick rails if you want to throw one there. Also on the side, maybe hook up an accessory, sling, a little flashlight, something there. I would have liked to seen maybe a metal pick rail that they include. They got a plastic one and it's already getting chewed up for my bipod. But pick rails are cheap anyways, but I would have preferred a metal pick rail. They do include different grip sizes, different butt stocks for length of pull adjustments, and I like this adjustable cheek riser. So all in all, it's a good hunting gun. I tried to get a squirrel on camera. I was just gonna do a real short hunting video with this one. I took out maybe 4 or 5 just while I'm out here filming, and but once I finally got the camera set up, the last squirrel went down. I think I hurt his feelings, I don't know, but no, it's a good capable hunting gun, especially at those mid-range distances, 50, 60, 70 yards. Still has some good takedown power, especially with the velocity when it's coming out the barrel right here. 100 yards, maybe. But then again, there's not a lot of guys doing 100-yard squirrel hunting with air guns. But I think definitely capable of taking down a coyote. I took down a coyote with smaller, and especially with correct shot placement, this thing will take them down. Stoeger, thank you for sending this out for me to test. I appreciate it. Like I said, just try and figure out that regulator issue and the trigger adjustment. Maybe make it a little easier for the user to make those adjustments. Vector Optics, I don't say thank you enough, but thanks for the scope. Really nice scope. Hopefully you guys can see that footage. Buck rail, modular suppressor is nice. Now I hope maybe you can answer in the comments my question. If you could just, you know, continue adding baffles, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't mind having a 10-inch suppressor on the end of that if it's going to make it super quiet, especially if I'm just out here, you know, maybe going to set up the gun on a tripod and do some hunting there, or just bench shooting. But if you can answer that in the comments, I'm just curious there. I did a little Halloween challenge with this air gun. Make sure you guys check out that video as well. It was pretty fun. All right, that's enough talking for me. Justin from On Target Air Gunner. Thank you for watching. Let's shoot some more.